Good afternoon and welcome to my kitchen. Today I would like to prepare for you roasted cabbage soup with some vegetables. Soups was something I grew up on when I was in Poland. My mom had soup at least twice a week. All the soups were made from the beginning to the end. As a child, I was very, very picky about what I eat, and I did not like to eat vegetables. Soups were always full of those veggies, shredded or cooked through, so we had no choice but to eat it. And this is the same thing I do with my children. They're very picky, they don't want to eat any veggies, so I actually shred all the veggies into the soup and they eat it. That way I know they will get the vitamins and minerals they need. I also like to cook soups from scratch. I do not buy canned stock. 99% of the time I make my own. That 1% I'm talking about is when I make some kind of a stew, some kind of a meat, and I need that extra chicken stock or beef stock or bone broth to make extra sauce. And there is quite few ingredients for that soup. So instead of showing all of it one by one, I think I will just write it down and put it in between my cooking so you can pause it and just go through it and either take a picture, write it down, however you want to do it. But I think it's going to be just easier to remember. And as always, I put all the ingredients under the video. So my cabbage is already roasted because I love that roasting flavor. Any vegetable that roasted brings an extra flavor. When I cook this soup, I like to use a few pieces of chicken to make the chicken broth first, and also a piece of smoked ribs. Unfortunately, I went to a couple stores and I couldn't find any, so today I won't be using that rib. But if you happen to find a rib, put it in. You will feel a big difference in flavor. It is awesome. I told my neighbor about this soup and she's, bring it over. I want to try it. Sounds really good. I hope you will try it. And as always, thank you for watching. For my roasted cabbage soup, I will need some potatoes, carrots, parsley, onion, garlic, celery sticks, some beans, fire roasted diced tomatoes, salt, pepper, few of the seasoning, and I will put it down for you so it's a little bit easier, and a roasted cabbage. Just like I said, roasted cabbage adds so much flavor to that soup. And as I mentioned, I do want to cook my own chicken broth first, but if you don't want to do it, you want to save some time, you can buy chicken stock and then skip that first part. My vegetables go in with my chicken. I have celery, celery heads, celery sticks, onion, parsnip, and I like to add a couple cloves of garlic and crush it before I put it in because it opens up the flavor. My veggies are in. It's going to boil on slow for at least 45 minutes before I start putting anything more in. So my cabbage was roasting for about half an hour. So every 6-8 minutes I would toss it around and it looks like it is ready. This nice brownish color on top. That's what I want. And that will go into my soup. My soup has been cooking for about 45 minutes, or I shouldn't say soup yet. My meat for the chicken broth, which is going to become a soup soon, has been boiling for 45 minutes. So now it's time to dice some potatoes and carrots and celery stick. And I want to do it evenly. So the potatoes boil evenly. If you have different size pieces, then some of them might be softer and some of them might be a little bit hard. And then once my potatoes are diced, I will rinse it a little bit because potatoes, as you know, have lots of starch. If you like it, you can just toss it. They're already clean. But I like to rinse it so my chicken broth is really nice and clear. And same with my carrots, celery stick. This will go in next. And as far as my cabbage, I roasted it. And now I want to also cut it into smaller pieces. So when you have it on your spoon, it's not too big and can actually fit on your spoon. I know my children are not going to like it. That soup is definitely for me and my husband and the neighbor next door, but not for my children. I'm waiting for the time when they are a little bit bigger and finally start asking, Mama, I want steak. Mama, I want some chicken. Because right now it's pasta, some noodles with butter, sandwiches, chicken nuggets, and pierogis. Pierogis is one thing they do eat, but it's like I have to rotate every week between 5 things they eat. Yeah, and then when they go over that phrase and start calling for steaks, then my husband will be in trouble. So here is a closer look at the cabbage, and my veggies are cut up. And now I can put it in my pot. Like I have 3 pieces of chicken here. As I said before, if I had a piece of smoked rib, that soup would be even better. But all my veggies are getting soft. Meat is getting soft. It's been 50 minutes now. I only put 1 teaspoon of salt in there and a little bit of maggi. If you don't have maggi, then soy sauce is kind of like a substitute, just for the flavor. And now I will put my potatoes and carrots and celery stick. And now I will wait about 10-15 minutes, and next goes the fire roasted tomatoes, beans, and my cabbage. And what I mean by maggi is Polish seasoning that every household has. I grew up on it, and it reminds me of soy sauce a little bit. So that's why sometimes when I say maggi and you don't have any European store nearby, soy sauce is the next thing that you can use instead of maggi. But I'm telling you, this is something that every Polish family has in the house. 15 minutes passed, and now I want to put my beans in and the roasted tomatoes. And the most important part, cabbage. That is the star of today, roasted cabbage. If you have some fresh parsley, that would be nice to put it on the end when you're done with cooking your soup. And now, want to cook it for another 10 minutes or so until my potatoes are nice and soft. And what do I do with the meat that is in the soup? Well, I never waste it. I grew up in the 70s when we had very small stores and there were only few things in those stores. That was the time of communism and everybody was happy to get any good piece of meat to eat. So cooked chicken, I will take it out, shred it, and put it back in that soup. You will have a soup with the proteins and vegetable, everything there as a whole meal. I don't need to cook a second meal, especially when my husband is out of town. If I have a soup like that with meat and vegetables, that's all I need. Everything is already in there. It is hearty, nutritious, filling, delicious. On the end of cooking, I will put some thyme, a little bit of thyme. Fresh is best, but fortunately I don't have fresh one. A little bit of garlic. I do like garlic. Not so much onions, but I do love garlic. For those of you who love onions, you can dice it, saute on a pan, and then put it back in that soup. That will give you that extra flavor. So the soup will be even better for you. For onion lovers, if I did not share with my neighbors, then I would put cayenne, a little bit of cayenne, because I do like spicy a little bit. But since my neighbors do not like spicy food, then I will omit it. But that's an option for you. And a little bit of paprika, smoked paprika, just a pinch. And a little bit of chili powder. Salt, pepper, and on the end, I will make my soup a little bit thicker with some tomato paste, half and half, and a spoon of flour. Mix it all, put it in, and my soup is ready. Fresh parsley to garnish it on the end. And my meal is ready. I like my soup a little bit thicker, but not too creamy. Some people love just the broth, and you can leave it the way it is. But I like to put 3/4 of a cup of 1/2 tablespoon of that tomato paste and 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I could open it. And 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Mix it well. And that will go into my soup to thicken it up a little bit. And what I like to use, just to make sure that I don't have any pieces of flour, I will put this over the soup and then do it through the net. That way I can be sure my soup is nice and creamy and smooth. Okay, and now the last part, thickening that soup. If you love tomatoes, you can put more tomato paste and make it more tomato-y. Whenever I cook tomato soup, I tell my children it's ketchup soup. Otherwise, they wouldn't eat it if I told them it's tomato soup. So all the veggies, potatoes, beans, carrots, cabbage, all good yummy stuff. And now on the end, I will shred the chicken, put it in, and I'm set, good to go for dinner. And what we Polish people love best? Maggi. All that good dark meat. Yummy. And 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I could open it. And 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And what I like to use, just to make sure that I don't have any pieces of flour, I will put I apologize, I forgot what it's called. I will put this